Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Oh my gosh, I was muted this whole time. I'm so dumb. Amir. Okay, so it is a holiday today. I thought that we would have like just abbreviated trading hours for the CME, but it's looking like from their website that they are just straight up closed from Thursday. So, which is fine. I wasn't expecting on doing any trading or anything. It's just I thought that I would be getting data coming through. I was thinking about doing some programming, but I'm thinking now, like, I want to pause and think about what I'm actually going to make, though. Let's just double check everything, rethink our priorities, make sure that we're working on the thing that will really be the most beneficial. I do want, one thing that I wanted to do here this morning was actually look at headphones. Because I was looking at the headphones the other day, and the ones that I was interested in were, like, there wasn't a lot of reviews out there and stuff about it. So I kind of thought, oh, I could make like an Amazon video or something. Would probably do well. So I'm actually still torn on what I want to do because the headphones that I want are a little bit heavier. Or these ones are 260 grams. The ones that I'm thinking about are 295 grams. Is that a huge deal? I don't know. I wonder if today is more of a holiday than it normally is. Because I don't think that they were just closed last Good Friday, were they? I don't know. Good morning, A-Ball. Good morning, James. Okay. We're going to do this. It's funny that so I had these very dynamic 1770s, and those were like 413 grams. And there's a new headphone by Adhere's that I really want, and those are 550 grams. So it's like that's probably if the Barrett Dynamics were too heavy, these are definitely gonna be too heavy. But it does seem like I can go to around 300 grams and I'm okay. PayPal IG is slow drink. Well, yeah, so it's Good Friday, the Friday before Easter, and that is always a market holiday. But I thought that normally we would just have abbreviated trading hours, but it looks like from the CME group that most products are essentially closed today. Like their this view here is better. I haven't seen before, so yep, they just at the close they just closed and they didn't open back up. So that's why the DOMs are all blank. So we're not getting data right now. That's weird. My password manager isn't logged in on this machine anymore. Trying to remember the names of all these things I need to check up here real quick. Slow start to the morning and my mind is not completely woken up, I guess. I think next week is going to be a very interesting week in markets. Well, I'm thinking about it. When we come over here to the charts. Oh, there's some rollovers. Sure, let's roll over. Not that it matters. Okay. Somewhat sideways in the treasuries. It really seems to me that your treasuries have recovered. At least, you know, so there was this and this were like the scariest ones. This one, there was probably some selling here too, but this was probably also a little bit more of like the market, the equity market chilling out a little bit. But since then, throughout pretty much this whole week, we've just kind of gone sideways. There hasn't been any more craziness there. Meanwhile, over here in the S&P 500, just kind of going sideways ever since this kind of reversal on, what was it, the 9th? Which was last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, big move up. And since then, just kind of playing around in this hole here. So markets have been kind of directionless, not really sure what they want to do. I think that there's a good chance that next week we will start to get a little bit more movement. Oil took another big jump up yesterday. Gold looks really good. Silver's still kind of lagging. Appa. 6J. Looks good. Bitcoin. Still just roll like right at that. They've been in this area for a long time now. What about news next week, huh? Well, we got some speakers. We got a flash manufacturing PMI on Wednesday. Consumer sentiment, inflation expectations. So it's a lighter news week. Sorry, I should be over here. We have a lighter news week. So that plays in a little bit. One of the things I notice when we get a drawdown, like a downturn like this, is like there will be like a huge flurry of activity in the trading community overall, and then it just like goes dead. And like we're definitely seeing that now. Like that past week, it's really gotten dead. Although Discord, oh, by the way, my Discord isn't open. What's with that? Did it crash? Perhaps? There's actually been a lot of activity in the futures trading Discord with people arguing about it. About the trade war. I'll go get it on Sunday. Yeah, I think we should be okay. All right. Okay. Should be cool because nobody on Amazon. No reviews yet. So it should be good. Okay. Oh, that's funny. I put this thing about like a YouTube user lookup robot. But that's going on in the back burner for sure. Anyway, Paul says, might as well bring it. Well, yeah, it's totally the great time to talk about off-topic things. I started using Brave browser a couple of days ago in such a short time. I can tell it's so much more efficient and useful. It doesn't bog the PC down as much. Yeah. Well, yeah. So realize that the renderer, the thing that's actually like doing the rendering of the web page, is still Chromium. So it's using the same thing as Google Chrome, but like all of the other stuff has been ripped out, and all of the things that like kind of compromise your privacy have been ripped out. So I really like. I've been using it for a while, and I very much prefer to use Brave browser. I don't know. Web browsing in general has become bloated, but mostly I'm just pissed at what Google did with Chrome, because in the beginning it was great, and then they were like, oh, we're going to use Chrome to enhance our monopoly on everything. Screw that. So I have on here post VWAP typical. We should. Let's do a little cleanup on that indicator, make sure that it's in a good spot. I'll open up a chart here first, and how goes your Rust project? So I did a little bit of like investigation on like, oh man, this is so, yeah. Before I start going into this, let's talk about this and think about what we're doing, right? So, I was between jobs, right? And the platform was one of the things that I was like, well, I think that the most viable business that I have is creating my own platform. I think that the indicators are great, but the making my own platform could be like a $1 billion business, right? Like Ninja Trader just got sold for $1.5 billion. So I think making my own platform would be a great idea. But kind of the impetus for like thinking about that was being between jobs. And the problem is that being between jobs and having children, I was spending all of my time watching the kids. Well, I have a contract to hire job now. So basically 3-month contract, and then they should hire me on in July. My understanding of it is that the reason it wasn't going to be just like a direct to hire was because there was questions around like if they'd have the money and the funding and things like that. So I don't really know what that, because I am kind of like, oh, so is that like if the economy does poorly that they might not be able to hire me on full time? I don't know. The other thing is that it's basically an hour to get down there. So well, it's really more like 90 minutes, but yeah, I'm spending like 90 minutes a day driving. So that really kills time. But once we get past that time period, and if I do get hired on full time, then my wife should be able to dramatically pull back her working hours at her job, because she won't need to work. Right now, she has to work full time so that we have medical benefits, right? She can pull back on that. And then, especially on weekends, I will have time to work on those sorts of things. Now, another thing that was kind of holding me back on there was I had done the work to how is drawing in this platform and all of these sorts of things. And I was doing some stuff with Iced. It seems like Iced is a good platform to work off of. I kind of wonder if for some things, like maybe the drawing code, that I actually want to go deeper than Iced, because they have like a pretty simple API that's there and it does a good job, but it might be faster to just like go into WGPU and do it myself or something like that. So there's that side of it, but then like the other side of the platform is dealing with the data, essentially. And it was like, okay, so if I'm going to connect it into Rhythmic, well, first of all, can I plug into Rhythmic Trader Pro and use their plugin mode? I think I might be able to, but I don't have any documentation about exactly how they're doing that. I know that it has something to do with C# and like it's a C# kind of feature, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it outside of C#. And there are some platforms that are doing it in Java, for instance. So I should feasibly be able to do it in Rust. But that's like a big project part, right? And in order to do that project, I would have to be paying for like access to the Rhythmic API, which is about $100 a month. And it was kind of like, well, we're trying to keep costs as low as possible. I don't know if that's really very realistic. Okay. Now we're going into this period where it, you know, things have shifted a little bit. So I could spend more time on it. But not like 8 hours a day like I would like. So it's kind of like, is the amount of free time that I'm going to have here enough that I can get a platform started? I'm not so sure. Now there's a couple of other projects on here. Okay, so let's just update this current a little bit here. Rhythmic API for Rust platform. Okay, that's one of them. Okay. Another one is we wanted to make a video about TradingView's backtester. It's a little, so to really utilize TradingView's backtester, probably need to get the TradingView Pro subscription. Actually, you know, they were doing a holiday deal, weren't they? Let's see here. Easter sale. That's a pretty good sale. Is there like a you have to yeah, it's billed annually. To get it, you have to get it billed annually. Well, at $10 for a year, that wouldn't be, you know, $120. That wouldn't be too bad. But is Essential is probably not. Oh no, wait. Now if I go to monthly, do I still get? No, yeah, no discount if I do monthly. So let's see here. I want to come into the charts. Easter sale, yay. Strategy tester. Moving average cross. And then in here, I think was it just going to the bottom? Where is it? There is a way to like export it. Oh, right here, export data. It looks like that we need premium. Essential plus premium. Oh, that's a really good deal. So it's the same as plus. It's 70% off. No, not premium. Wait, what did it do? Premium. Get 70% off. Okay, so normally it's $50 a month. No, I don't want to put in my billing details at that point. It's not giving it to me. It says $17.98 a month, so let's just calculate it like that. 17.98 times 12 equals 215. Okay. Let's just write that down over here. Where is it? Okay, so there's that. And then the other thing is order flow on stocks. DX feed retail, non-professional. Basically, you want NASDAQ total viewed, right? Oh, DX feed market indicators. Wait, they changed it? Total view is only $54 a month? So it was way more than that. It was way more than that. You can get NASDAQ total view on options. That sounds crazy. Okay. Mondali is cheaper. I don't think you're, so we're talking about order flow on stocks. Order flow on stocks. So Denali data through Sierra charts is like a totally different thing. They don't offer order flow on stocks. And I don't think it's $54. Let's see here. So MBO is $56 a month plus, what you spend for included data and simulated services. the thing that I hate about Sierra charts the most is that they make it kind of complicated. What does it cost? But I don't see anything about NASDAQ. Yeah. And I'm already got rhythmic data, right? I'm not going to change that. Let's see if I search Sierra charts, NASDAQ total view. Oh, here you go. Nope. Okay, so there's US stock data and then there's US stock data for professionals. Is that just the professional fee? But I don't see, like over here on this one, there's market depth and there's basic top of book. Right? And it is not telling us if it's market depth or top of book. There. Not there, at least. If you want to use the bid-ask market depth, pulling and stacking columns on a chart/trade DOM for US equities/stocks, then you need to activate the NASDAQ Total View Exchange and use the NASDAQ Total View symbols. So it kind of suggests that it is the market depth. So if they're offering it for $17, that's pretty good. But you're bundling it with everything else, right? So I'm not entirely convinced that it's cheaper. How much? Yeah, and do you get the CME as well? Like the whole, well, sorry, when I say the CME, like you get the whole bundle, like, because I know a lot of people that they'll just get the equity indexes, right? But the bundle so that you can see CME, CBOT, and NYMEX is like $30 or something like that usually, right? So the question is, how much a month do you pay for everything, including the Sierra charts? Like, how much are you paying? Yeah, $39. There you go. a bit. Because what Sierra Charts does, this is the game that they play that just drives me freaking crazy, is that they charge you for the platform too. It's a monthly cost for the platform, and there's like a bunch of different levels and things like that. So what'll happen is you'll come in and you'll be like, oh, well, like just the basic Sierra Charts is cheaper. Just the, and even some of these parts of the data is cheaper. But when you actually combine it all together and you see how much you're paying them, you're actually paying them more. Like the monthly cost is actually more. I don't know. To be honest with you, the whole thing is that I'm like, if it was just me trading, it would maybe be a different thing. Like at whatever platform works, and I could switch between them based on what was the cheapest and could be flexible and things like that, right? But as a creator, you're kind of hitching your wagon a little bit more, you're kind of hitching your wagon a little bit. The reason that I go with NinjaTrader is because NinjaTrader has the best development community, just period, right? And it's really, really easy to get into it. I'm kind of weary about hitching my wagon to Sierra Charts. That company does some things that I think are kind of weird. Yeah, you're paying MBO1 CFE as well. But so I spend 50 on the platform, and then what is it, 39 for the data, essentially, and then I'm thinking about adding 54 for the NASDAQ total view. And I'm thinking at some point of adding 90 for the DX feed, right? That adds up. Would I get Sierra Charts for cheaper than that? I don't know. Last time I went and I did this math with just this part, like forget all this. Last time I looked at it for this part, I was paying more for Sierra Charts. Yeah. Probably about the same in the end. So, but I didn't even get into the thing. So here's the thing. Because of the day job and the travel time, that basically steals an hour from us. So I'm only able to stream until 8 o'clock my time now, which really sucks. It's honestly, I'm trying not to think about it, because when I start to think about it, it kind of depresses me a little bit. Because it just well, and part of it was that it was a slow week this week anyways in the financial markets. But I just feel that it was kind of like a flat week, And part of that is because, like, just when it seems like we've got things going and then it's time to shut things down. I hate that. And so then I said, well, the robot, it should continue to have good opportunities until at least 9 o'clock. So let's let that continue to trade and leave the stream going on without me. And you guys can talk and chat, right? And so I found a way to do that, and I did that this week. But, like, nobody really watched it afterwards. Like, so I was kind of, like, questioning if it was really worth it. I kind of always thought, well, I don't know if people are really here for me, but actually it turns out that maybe they are. Because when I'm not there, they disappear. So with the total view, it wouldn't make sense to be doing the total view stuff if we can only watch it for 30 minutes, Like, that makes zero sense. But if we have some stuff up on the screen and we keep the stream going until the nicey close, then that's a different thing, right? But so far, the experiment that we've done kind of suggests to me that that wouldn't really bring a whole lot to the stream. Like, it would be an extra $54 a month, and it wouldn't be bringing another $54 back in views or anything like that. So I wouldn't be able to trade it, so it wouldn't be bringing back revenue and trading. So I don't think that one makes sense right now. Don't think that one makes sense right now. This one, okay. Rhythmic API, if we're building a platform, if I'm really serious about it. So I think that this one, we hold off on it, right? I think this one, we hold off on it and see how things go for a month, and maybe if we, after it go full time, maybe we do this one, right? And the back tester, the TradingView back tester one, I'm just gonna put that one. Yeah, no, I think we just keep those on the back burner for now. So I think my conclusion here is, in fact, so the other thing that we're working on is just this robot that works off of the market order imbalance and some other indicators that we've got. And then maybe extending that to something that utilizes machine learning in some form. And that would involve like creating a separate server and having them pass data between each other with a socket, essentially. Open an 80% off Apex account and use the bot. Well, so if they allowed treasuries, maybe I would do that. So if you've got a prop firm that still allows treasuries, maybe we can try it. But the thing is that the robot does not, it's not always profitable, right? In the past week, when we've been in this contracting volatility regime, that's terrible. It only really does well when the market orders dominate, right? Hey, I always forget they don't allow treasuries anymore. Yeah. Vol, you're talking about when you say vol, you probably mean volatility model. You know, there's something I really hate that people call volatility vol, because I never know if they're talking about volatility or volume. There's some other things that I got on here to like, some of this Euler stuff. Things like that. But I think for this video about the TradingView backtester, we can do that. I don't know if it makes sense to do it like right now. So I think that we'll keep these ideas that would require some more cash, put those on the back burner. If maybe, you know, we were doing better selling the Ninja Trader indicators, and that was bringing in more consistent income, I wouldn't be as concerned about that. But with these ones, I would be going over my you know, I would be draining my saving. I have a big chunk of cash that we've made from like YouTube, right? And we just kind of keep it there to make sure that can keep the YouTube channel going. And if I started doing some of these things, they would start drawing on that. And I don't think I want to do that. What would you like to backtest on? Oh, well, so all we want to do on this one, sorry, I didn't explain this one very well, did I? All we are doing here is trying to demonstrate the differences between different backtesters. Because from what I've seen, the TradingView backtester is overly generous. It seems to me that what it's doing is it's giving you the close of the last bar instead of the open of the current bar. And so that basically always gives it like one tick better. And so there's a lot of TradingView strategies that people do that it's basically telling them that they make 1 or 2 ticks on every trade, when in reality you would probably be losing 1 or 2 ticks on every trade when you do it live, right? So NinjaTrader still has an issue because it's going to take the price that's there on the chart. But when, like, the opening price of a bar, for instance, that's basically just determined on what price did the first order go off at, right? And you don't know if that was a market buy or a market sell. And ergo, you don't know if you would have gotten, if you were buying, if you would have gotten that price, or if you would have gotten 1 tick higher, right? So to really do a NinjaTrader backtest accurately, depending on the time frame and the instruments and things like that, you probably have to factor in 1 or 2 ticks of slippage, right? But the TradingView backtester is clearly, it seems very clearly wrong. So if I can come in here and I can program the exact same strategy, super simple, moving average crossover. Here it is in TradingView. Here it is in NinjaTrader. And then go in literally trade by trade and show the differences. And there are some weird, because it does seem like that over time they kind of get disjointed too. And I don't know what that's about. But I think that we could sort those differences out and then, make a video about it. Now, if somebody had TradingView Premium and they were to just export all of the data for me correctly, it would work. But the one person that I had that had that, they were kind of giving me data and they didn't give me the correct data, and I hadn't heard from them recently. So I think it would probably just be easier to get it and do it myself, right? But apparently it'd be $60 for 1 month. So I'm kind of, I think I have an idea for a video I want to make. And it wouldn't really be like a ground. So I was just thinking this morning for some reason, and I was like, really, because I've had a hard time with really getting through to retail traders, right? Like, we have a lot of really, really good empirically based information on this channel that I think gives you some really strong hints about like what would be the most effective ways for retail day traders to try and trade. And I have a hard time like getting through to people because like retail traders have already been like pre-programmed by this nonsense that's out there. And what it really comes down to is that retail day trading is outdated. Everything that retail day traders know came from a different era. Yeah, it was an era that was like literally only 10, 20 years ago, but markets move quick, right? So most of the stuff that we hear about in retail day trading came from 2 major kind of eras. The first was the turtle traders and the Jack Swagger books and all of that stuff, right? And those guys were trading swing momentum strategies. Okay, so That's not day trading for starters. So almost everything that they're saying, I don't really think applies to day trading. In fact, I can remember, I haven't read all of those books, but I can remember some people talking about it that, you know, it was like, can you apply it to day trading? Well, I don't see why not, but I've never tried. Well, if they tried, they would find that doesn't transfer over to day trading at all. And on top of that, the momentum space has grown substantially since then. And so the really simple kind of approaches to momentum swing trading that worked in the 80s don't work anymore. You have to have much more sophisticated analysis and like analyzing your portfolio and so forth to really be successful with that. Okay. And then the other era that we got a lot of information from was like the 2000s day trading era. And in that era, the big innovation, the big thing that was changing was we were electronic trading. We were gaining access to the markets in a way that we didn't have before. And so there was all sorts of people that had like insane amounts of success in those early days of retail day trading because the market hadn't figured it out yet. And basically what happened was by 2010 or so, the market had already like completely destroyed those. And so a lot of those things that we learn from retail day traders and so forth, they don't really work anymore. And so like retail day trading there's this idea that like you get good enough and then you should be able to bring consistent profits from it and you can live from it every month. And if you were a market maker, then that's realistic. That's the way that it would work is you make a certain amount and you can kind of use as monthly income. The return on it isn't super great, but it's consistent. Okay, cool. And then there is still an opportunity that you can really hit it big, right? That was a good deal. But now that the robots have taken over, those opportunities aren't really there. So all of this stuff that retail day traders talk about like becoming profitable and things like that within the modern day doesn't make any sense. It's kind of silly to think that you're going to have that kind of performance, especially if all you're doing is trading price action on a chart. You're not going to have, because those things are just not very consistent at all. A lot of people claim that they've made money from it, but from everything that I've seen, those people are taking on really big risks to do that, and then eventually they blow up. And so it's just not suitable to like replace somebody's income, right? So essentially, all of this advice ends up again, like in the modern market, not very useful. Well, so there is one thing that we can kind of pull from the 90s and 2000s though, right? Why were those retail traders able to have success? Because like that was the new thing and there was like a new edge available to them at the time that hadn't been mined out yet, right? So what is that today? And I would argue that the big innovation of our day is actually access to information. You have access to information about what's going on in the economy and in the markets, more so than any other group of people before us in history. And for some reason, retail day traders want to ignore that. It's like probably the best thing that you've got going for you in our day. And all of the retail day traders would rather look at the chart, right? So that's really my kind of my pitch. My new pitch is retail day trading is outdated. How do we update it? Utilize information, and you're kind of more taking speculative risks rather than technical trading, essentially. So I want to make a video about that. So I think that we can do that video, and then maybe I will go and look at doing the trading view thing. So maybe we do the trading view thing in May. Yeah. Okay, so now that I've yapped for an hour, I will still do things thing that I was talking about, which is we're going to load this up, and I'm going to add this indicator. Was it VWAP typical here under speculator set to free? Okay, and I get a VWAP. It's a plot. It's a line. See, I just wanted to make sure that I got all of the like, that it was clean and everything. I do reset it every session. You might not want that, right? Well, let's just do a simple way of doing this. Ninja script property public pool session reset get set. We're not in Vim. Stop that stuff. Session reset equals true. If bars dot is first bar of session and session reset, then we reset it. Wait, where do I use this first bar bit? I don't think that I need that. I'm going to take it out. Okay. So if I come in here and refresh this now. Okay, no change. Good. Session reset. Good. That's like it just never resets. All right, thanks for stopping by. In here, we need like we need the little property descriptor things. reset at start of session. Very good. Kind of doing that. Like you could have it say do it the week and on the month too, but then I have to create a gosh, what are they called? Struct or whatever. Not a struct, but anyways, there's NinjaTrader has some issues with that, and I'd rather just not do that. If you want typical. Okay. Now let's go to the user app share and see if we can upload it. Oh, I'm not even sure how you upload stuff to the user app share. Here it is. Is submit a new app or update. Make a new topic. Enter a description. Upload an image. It should be a 250 by 250. Well, it's time for me to get going now already. But we'll do this one last thing. Oops, not that one. Where did it go? Did I close it? I closed it. So dumb. Oh man, you really gotta make this tiny. Actually, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like this. Ball says already says game over. Yeah, or good. GG. No, I'm not done yet. No, that's not what I want to do at all. Actually, cancel. File new. Full HD. Paste. What the heck? That's not what it should look like at all. There we go. Okay, and there's no point on keeping the stream going today because markets are closed. So I'll just shut the stream down and I will see you guys on Monday. We can continue some of this. We'll get into the robot more. All right, guys. I'll see you guys Monday. Stay excellent.